Poet Laureate. His name is Archibald Rutledge. Rutledge was born in McLennanville in 1883. 3 years later, he moved with his family to the Hampton Plantation. His education was taken in Charleston, and he graduated from Union College in 1904. Later in life, he became famous for his penetrating poetry and prose. In 1934, the South Carolina legislature passed a resolution calling for a Poet Laureate. Mr. Rutledge was chosen for the honor. This is the home of Archibald Rutledge today. Its roots are sunk deep into the history of South Carolina, and the nation's greatest men have visited here. George Washington, Daniel Webster, Francis Marion, Audubon, Robert E. Lee, and others. 11 motion pictures have been filmed on these grounds, including Gone with the Wind. Rutledge is the author of somewhere around 80 books, and they are all mirrors of man, beauty, and love of nature. His writings, like those of any good author, are provoking. Read once, they mean a great deal, but read repeatedly, they mean still more. Dr. Rutledge says honesty and straightforwardness are the virtues a man ought to have. He himself is deeply interesting and surprisingly candid about Rutledge the poet. In answering a question about his greatest source of inspiration, Dr. Rutledge said,
"Well, my first real inspiration came when I woke up to the fact that I had 3 boys in college at one time, and it was necessary for me to do something strenuous. But I have been interested in writing since I was a little child."
Some people consider you to be a writer of prose rather than of poetry. What do you think about that?
I like to be considered a poet because my prose is rather poetic, and I have had a greater response from the public to the poetry. And I have written 29 books of poems. That's my first love, poetry. This is a short poem called Wood Song. "Oh, walk into the woods with me and drink a wine of wizardry. Nature's wild beauty brims the cup. Tiptoe Titania holds it up. This innocent golden chalice drain, and come to peace beyond all pain, to joy beyond dreams of youth, to insight elder than the truth, vision more poignant to descry in the vilest little brimming eye, in rock rose and in goldenrod, the mercy and the love of God." I am asked what my philosophy is about the knowledge of man. Well, I'll answer it in this way. In Shakespeare's Antony and Cleopatra, Iris and Charmian, the great queen's 2 ladies in waiting, are going to have their fortunes told. And they are teasing this old soothsayer. And they ask him if he knows anything. He says, in nature's infinite book of secrecy, a little have I read. That's my idea of the knowledge of man at this point.
What is your reflection on religion?
Well, it has reflected, I think, in my writing. I believe in God, in immortality, and in a region where eternal spirits dwell.
Have you ever worried about the future?
Do you mean on this earth or hereafter?
On this earth, say, either financially or...
Well, everyone is more or less concerned about the future since the income tax came into being. And all of us try to do the best we can under the circumstances. I think perhaps I have been fortunate in not having to worry too much because my writing has been successful.
What is the most gratifying part of your life as a writer?
I have made a good deal of money, but that isn't the answer. The answer is the gratitude of readers. My mail is heavy with letters from readers who are glad to find writing that can be read aloud to the family.
Do you feel your readers have been affected by your poetry?
Yes, I know they have. I wrote one poem that I know for a fact prevented a suicide, and that affected me deeply because Samuel Johnson said to have an influence on one other human being is an event of immense spiritual importance. And here's a brief poem called Hillcrest Pine. Here's this old pine standing on top of a hill all alone. But he has his beauty. By all comrades long forsaken, by the storm and thunder shaken, he a grim deep root has taken. Him the wintry blast discover, but the wild moon is his lover. Close to him the white stars hover. Silent stark, eternal token of the anguish kept unspoken, of the will that is not broken. This the stars in heaven divining, their tall thrones of light resigning, for a crown on him are shining.
Archibald Rutledge has a heritage that reaches far back into history. He lives on a plantation where 140 Negroes still sharecrop. The man is more than a writer of poetry and prose. He is a true Southerner, and he believes in the South just as his forefathers did. Here's the way he expresses it.
I think that the South has more promise than any other part of the country. The other parts of the country almost look to me as if they have lived their life. The South seems to me to be a young person coming forward and coming into the beauty of manhood and womanhood. We are just beginning to develop our own resources.
Someone put it this way when the subject of Archibald Rutledge came up. He is South Carolina's answer to Robert Frost, and then some. What is Dr. Rutledge's philosophy of life? Perhaps he himself expressed it best in his work, The Beauty of Storms. We are prone to lament that the world is not better, yet the fact that it is full of trouble affords us our only chance to spend our hearts. A time of prosperity is a dangerous time. The soul loafs and grows fat. Times of storms and peril are the ones that show what we are made of. Loss and grief are always life's summonses to us to be great. Meaningful words from one of South Carolina's most interesting and learned men, the Poet Laureate, Archibald Rutledge.